Let's have a talk right now. I want you to stop wasting time looking and searching and just start being. Stop wasting time looking for a twin flame or a soulmate. I'm going to be using those names interchangeably throughout this video. So understand, if I say twin flame, I also mean soulmate, soulmate, twin flame. Where do those terms come from? Twin flame and soulmate both are terms that come from mythology. Mythology is nothing but a series of stories made to represent vehicles of interpretation of the unexplainable. So now that we've cleared that up really quickly, I understand that there are those of you who are on this spiritual mission to find a soulmate, or believe you're with your soulmate and having trouble with your soulmate, or you're looking for your twin flame and you blame every wrongdoing that's happening in those relationships on the concept of it being a twin flame. And today I'm going to give you lots of reasons to not look for a twin flame or a soulmate, or to label your current relationship as a twin flame or soulmate relationship. But first, let me give you the benefit of that so that you understand why you should disown those terms. Those terms are like crutches. They're making you believe that there's less people available for you to be happy with, and it's also stunting your growth within a relationship. It stops you from love. And I want you to have love. Have you been using any of these examples to define your relationship as either soulmate or twin flame, or you're looking for love and you've had this expectation that's actually based out of mythology? Number one, there is no sense of time or space when you are with this person. And I understand that when you feel that there's no sense of time or space and time just seems to fly when you're with this person, you feel that that is a marker for something spiritual or deeper, and that it's really something that you should elevate into. This could be your soulmate or your twin flame. And really, that's just called flow. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi has actually written books about it. It's what our brain does when we're in a certain level of thought, a certain type of thinking. It puts a little bit of a buffer on the sense of time and allows us to fully immerse. Number two, sometimes you meet someone and you feel like you've known them forever, and it's really easy to feel like that person is special if you have a sense of being familiar with them. Our subconscious mind is very deep and we hold so much information. So that person could actually have a quality that we cognitively are not picking up, but our subconscious mind is. And it could be as simple as a person has a quality that you can't pinpoint that reminds you of someone in the past, even someone on television, maybe your third grade teacher. Either way, the point that I'm making here is just because the person seems familiar doesn't mean that they are familiar. And if you actually don't know that person and they just seem familiar, you feel like you've known them forever, you can thank your subconscious mind. Number three, you feel passion towards them like you've never felt before. This intense draw, this intense magnetic attraction. And that feels like that should be a soulmate, right? Say you're married to someone. Would you easily just dissolve your marriage without a flinch because your husband or wife found someone else and said, well, I was really attracted to them? Would you just be okay with that and say, oh, well, that must be your soulmate, I'm so happy for you? No, not at all. That would be crazy. And if you are thinking that you would do that, no, you need therapy. So here's my point. We can become attracted, deeply attracted, magnetically attracted to someone else. That doesn't mean that that person is in some way spiritually connected to you. It just means you have the hots for them. Here's one that I hear a lot. This is number four. This is one where the person tells me, oh, this was my twin flame because they brought out my best, but they brought out my worst. They were my mirror. My strengths and weaknesses were just mirrored with them, and that's how I know that they were my twin flame. Well, no, that's not a twin flame. That just means that you met someone at a certain time in your life, and they were at a certain point in their life, and whatever you're both projecting to the other person is matching up. And that can change from minute to minute, day to day, week to week. And in fact, many people who say they've met their twin flame will tell me, well, I met my twin flame, but it didn't work out because they were my twin flame. No, it just didn't work out because you guys stopped getting along and communicating and putting effort into the relationship, or one of you cheated or whatever, but it had nothing to do with a twin flame. My lovely, lovely ladies and gents, please understand that just because someone brings the best out in you does not mean that they are your twin flame or your soulmate. It actually is all about you. It's what you're giving and what you're allowing to be seen. So if someone is around you and you feel safe to open up to them, you're bringing the best out of you. It's not them doing it. And you can bring that comfort level to any relationship that you want. Number five, you share the same dreams and values, and therefore you think that this person is your soulmate because they're on the same page as you. They get you, they understand you, and they want the same things in your future. Bonk! The reason for this is Many people have vague general ideas of what they want in the future. Most people, when they first meet each other, even the first several months or even the first year, are going to be focused on being the best that they can be within the relationship. And sometimes being the best that they can be means trying to mirror the other person. This doesn't actually mean that this is your twin flame or your soulmate. It just means it's a normal person doing normal mating behavior. But trust me, from the therapy room, I've seen people that start out having all of the same commonalities. They say that they met and they wanted the same things, and 2, 3, 5 years down the line, things change because people tend to grow and change, and it's okay to change your mind about your own hopes and dreams. And people think that because of this, suddenly that person wasn't their twin flame and wasn't their soulmate, when really that person was never their twin flame or soulmate. They just assumed that and put that label on that person and thought that because they put the label on that person, that that person was no longer allowed to evolve and change and grow. You feel like your twin flame or your soulmate knows you better than anyone in the world. Or you're looking for a soulmate or a twin flame, and you feel that when you get to know that person even a little bit, that they're going to want to know everything about you, and you're going to feel like they know you better than even your friends or your family or anyone. If they do know you more than anyone else, it means you're having struggles in your other relationships. So if you're giving lots of information to this new person, that's on you. That has nothing to do with them being a soulmate. So don't mistake being open and spending hours and hours on a telephone or texting or on dates. Don't confuse time and a sense of what you're giving as something that is elevated and special. Another thing that I hear a lot is people think that they are first meeting their soulmate or they've met their twin flame because there's arguments and you forgive each other. Usually this is something that I see more in the first 6 months to a year, and it usually means that one person is doing a lot more forgiving than the other. So this is where a lot of resentments build up for the future. So if you think that you have a relationship where there's lots of fighting and lots of forgiving going on, you have to take a step back and wonder, why is there so much fighting going on? If this is someone that you deem your soulmate or your twin flame, there shouldn't be that much fighting. Any healthy relationship should have some levels of debate or disagreement, but it shouldn't be where there's fighting and making up all of the time. In a normal, healthy relationship, there's going to be arguments and conflict and forgiving, but there shouldn't be that much to forgive. So in a healthy relationship, there's not even that much of a need to have lots of forgiving or lots of fighting, because mature, healthy relationships are all about compromising and doing what's best for the couple as a whole and each person individually. Next up, this is another one. When you meet someone and all of a sudden they're fulfilling more than one role with you. So for instance, not only are they your boyfriend or girlfriend, but they're also now going to be your business partner, or they're also going to be your jogging partner, and they start to take over different areas of your life. You might feel like because they have many common hobbies with you, or they want to be immersed in your life and you want to be immersed in their life, that everything must be really special and elevated. So it must be more of a soulmate or a twin flame where this person is just all around you like a hug 24/7. And that's actually a sign of a lot of boundary crossing, and one or both people are going to get very sick of that very soon. Another area that's more of a sticky situation here that I'm going to bring up is that the people who are saying to me, this is my soulmate or this is my twin flame, are often bringing up this level of spirituality connected with this relationship. And it's usually because one or both of the people really want a focus of a spiritual life because it's what they're into at the moment, or maybe they've been into their whole lives. Now, I see this even with Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism. It doesn't matter if it's from an organized religion or not. There's this level of spiritual elevation that the person or both people will label their relationship. And that actually is brinking on an unrealistic space, because you might be spiritual, it might be something that you practice. The other person might be practicing spirituality as well. But it's very dangerous to then put this expectation that because you're into it and they're into it in your own practices and in your own private life, and because you desire that in a relationship, it's very dangerous to put that on the relationship. So now you've created not just two individuals who are sharing something, but now it's it must be a soulmate. It must be God brought you together, or some source or elevated, whatever it is brought you together. And I'm not saying that that's not true, but I'm saying that you putting that expectation and label on the relationship becomes very dangerous, because whenever there's a problem in the relationship, your faith could actually be wavering. And if you do have a strong spirituality, you don't want to get everything muddled up where if you have a problem in your relationship, all of a sudden maybe you don't have faith, where you thought this was your soulmate and you had all of this spiritual energy that you were putting into the relationship as an expectation, and maybe the other person cheats, or you guys break up, or there's lots of abuse happening. Whatever it is, you start to look at the relationship differently, and you might start to look at spirituality differently. It's really important to understand that if you look at other relationships that you have, whether it's your family or friendships, you usually don't put that kind of pressure or fantasy on those relationships. You don't meet someone and say, oh my gosh, this woman that I just met, we have a lot in common. We like to knit and we like to wear LuLaRoe leggings, so she must be my twin flame, or she must be my soulmate friend. It doesn't normally go like that, right? So my lovely ladies and my handsome gentlemen, I want you to understand that whether you call someone a twin flame or a soulmate or whatever you want to call them, you're putting lots of pressure on them and on yourselves, and you're actually setting yourselves up for failure in that relationship by adding the extra pressure instead of just getting to know them and really understanding if this person is going to be someone that you can respect and that will respect you, that you can develop trust with, that you can affirm, that they will be affirming towards you, that you can evolve and grow, and that they can evolve and grow within the relationship, that you can support each other and compromise. Now, as you can probably see, there's another video for you that I think you're really going to love.